shoot. Bogdanovic creates space and lets it fly. That's 3 in a row in the corner for Bogdanovic.
The Los Angeles Clippers have won 6 straight games for the first time this season. Moreover, they have the 7th best NBA record since February 12th, the first game with Bogdan Bogdanovic on the LA's roster. Since then, the Clippers have won 19 out of 28 games and the Serbian has looked like exactly what this team needed. Let's see what he brings to the table, why you shouldn't have written him off after a bleak period in Atlanta, and why every Clippers fan love him. At the trade deadline, the Clippers made a move for Bogdanovic and 3 second-round picks, giving up Terrence Mann and Bones Highland. And 2 months ago, not sure how many people thought this was a good deal, simply because Bogdanovic had a horrible first part of the year in Atlanta. He averaged only 10 points after scoring almost 17 last year and did it on a poor 37% shooting from the field, down from his 43% career standard. Some people thought it was a natural decline since he's turning 33 this year, but it was mostly about injuries and not having a real break from basketball this summer. After he represented Serbia in Paris Olympic Games this August, Boggy picked up an injury after an injury in Atlanta. He played in season's opener, then missed 13 games with a hamstring problem. Battling with muscular issues, Bogdanovic never participated in more than 6 straight games until the new year. But for the record, the guard hasn't missed a single game in 2 months for LA Clippers. And it was clearly visible. The guard was not in his top shape and he couldn't get into any kind of rhythm. Here are some stats to prove it. In Atlanta, 55% of his shots this year were catch-and-shoot attempts, yet he made only 33%. That is nowhere near his usual numbers. In comparison, since the trade to LA, he has taken way less spot-ups, only a third of all of his shots, but the percentage has increased to 42. And even bigger, and I would say quite a stunning change has happened somewhere else. Alongside Trae Young, Bogey had a more stationary role as only 23% of his shots were pull-ups and he converted on an awful 29%. For the Clippers, we see the real shot-making ability from Bogdanovic. First of all, he has been a huge help next to James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, taking a sizable load offensively, especially with the second unit. In LA, his pull-up frequency has increased by 20%, while the percentages have skyrocketed by a ridiculous 21%. Bogdanovic has been on a tear, making 50% of pull-ups, and although probably even his biggest fans don't expect this to continue, but it's been a big reason of why the Clippers are successful. We are going to get in details of how exactly Bogdanovic is doing that, but here are last 2 interesting stats for you. Freshly acquired Serbian belongs to 6 out of the Clippers' 8 best performing lineups since the trade deadline, and ranks 3rd in the entire NBA in absolute plus-minus numbers since March 4th. These 2 stats emphasize how dominant the Clippers have been recently and how important Bogey is to that. Okay, so his floor-stretching ability makes perfect sense to a team with James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. Here the Cavs stay in their zone defense and decide to double James almost at half court. Simmons finds himself at the free-throw line, Jones in the dunker takes attention, and you have 2 shooters, Batum and Bogey, on the wings ready to punish. In the next clip, Steiger on the left side allows Harden to throw this pass to Kawhi inside. 3 Pelicans defenders swarm the paint and Bogdanovic is wide open for another 3. Of course, he then finds opportunities in transition, whether it's after the opponent's pressure full court or the Clippers get a steal. Numbers disadvantage for the defensive side don't help tracking shooters in transition, allowing the guard good looks. Or his teammates recognize the chance to free Bogey up instantly. Watch Simmons smartly pinning Santi Aldama here and turning his disadvantage into a wide open look for the Serbian. The thing is, even at 33 years old, Bogdanovic is not only a spot-up shooter. He is way more than that, and he is demonstrating that once again with the Clippers' second unit. Okay, maybe attacking in ISOs against league's premier defenders is not the best idea and not his biggest strength, but he's super dangerous in closeout situations, for example. Bogey uses a slip screen versus the Cavs here, gets some separation separation from Mobley and nails a long one. In the next clip, LA plays spin pick and roll. Bogdanovic's back screen creates a few meters of freedom. Dean Wade is always chasing here, and it's a pull-up too. In my opinion, Bogey feeling and playing better in LA is not only about him finally being healthy. It is also heavily connected to the fact that he is having the ball in his hands way more than in Atlanta. In his previous team, only 17% of his buckets were unassisted. With the Clippers, this number goes up to 42, and of course, most of it come from pick and rolls. He's easing the load of Harden and carrying the second unit, especially when the opponents use passive defensive coverages. Here, Dallas want to ice it, but he still gets to his right hand. Eubanks' screen is elite, and you simply can't give Bogey that much space and expect good results. This happened more than once against Memphis and Dallas, as Bogdanovic used his dribble to prepare the pick, force his defender to get stuck, and then hit the open shot. Bogey got so hot, he even went for this heat check on a late switch from Dallas. I believe his FIBA experiences as Serbia's top perimeter option has helped him a lot. In his career, he has seen every possible defense, so he understands how to handle different schemes. Against Memphis's drop, he takes Bane hostage on his back, patiently waits until Zubac rolls, and then hits a smooth turnaround mid-range. Against Dallas's ice coverage, he attacks without using the screen, drops it off to his big, relocates back to the three-point land, and the two men work perfectly to create a wide open look for Bogey. Or here against the Cavs, he sees that Okoro has opened the left side too much, meaning he can drive, and then he again shows patience inside the paint and makes the shot. Norman Powell is starting now, and LA's bench lost a lot of scoring without him. But Bogdanovic is filling that role perfectly and mixing it in with some playmaking. 2 for 1 here against the Cavs, and one of the FIBA's GOATs is more than capable of draining this attempt. Atlanta used the stationary version of Bogdanovic, but he is way more than that. Spin, strength, short mid-range, all on the spotlight here. And Ben Simmons may be ignored on the perimeter, but him setting a slip screen here allows Bogey to drive left as it opened up a gap. Even a peel switch inside does not stop another short fadeaway. Fans love Serbian because he's playing hard, and teammates love him because, well, he's just a great guy and he's playing super well. I mean, how can Harden not enjoy him when Bogdanovic is doing Harden's own trademark celebration after making the shot? Such chemistry is then transferred to the court. Bogdanovic plays ISO here and drives in, and Zubac just knows when to set a Gortat screen inside and stop J-Hub from even trying to block a shot here. By the way, these two seem to have the best connection on the team. Just look at this cute sequence. Or these pick and rolls between the two. Brooklyn short hedges here against the guard, so he knows Zubac is in the short roll open. Later, Ivica has no problem scoring against a shorter weak side defender. And as I mentioned, throughout his career, Bogdanovic has seen all kinds of defensive strategies, so he knows what's the right play. He is as far away from a ball-stopping player as one can be. Later in the same game, Brooklyn switch now and protect the paint heavily, but Bogey immediately sees the low man defender in the paint and a flare screen set by his teammate. Patty Mills is the beneficiary from all of that. To tell you the truth, looking at some Clipper games, you won't see flashy passes, flashy plays from Bogdanovic. But what you will surely witness is the Serbian simply doing the right thing on the court. Whether it's a setup play and he needs to throw a lob pass, or he's leading the transition and finding the open man. Or maybe James Harden is getting doubled at the half court and Bogdanovic needs to make an extra pass off the bounce for a great shooter in the corner. Or maybe he's running the point guard for one possession and he needs to find the hot hand. Patty Mills was that guy at the end of the game versus Brooklyn, and Bogey made sure he got his heat check moment. So this is how Bogdan Bogdanovic has made the Clippers better. The playoffs are right around the corner, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bogey has 1 or 2 huge playoff games or important shots in the clutch. It wouldn't be the first time he does so. So now I'm interested. How do you evaluate the Serbian's time with the Clippers so far? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.